There are 10 rules of power that have been hidden from you your entire life. Most people live inside an invisible cage because they believe power is something that is given to them by others, a title, a promotion, recognition, approval. They wait for someone to declare they are worthy before acting as if they are. They kneel in their own mind long before anyone else forces them to, and so they move through life with their head lowered, waiting for permission that never comes. Look around you. Look at school, work, politics, relationships. The ones who lead are rarely the most skilled. The ones who dominate are rarely the most moral. The world does not reward the deserving. It rewards those who behave as if reward is already owed to them. This is the first principle of power, the one so simple that most never believe it could be true. And that is why most remain ruled. Before I reveal it to you, I want you to notice something. Think of any historical conqueror you know by name. Every one of them decided first that the throne was theirs, and only afterward did the world acknowledge it. The world follows certainty, and certainty must begin before reality reflects it. Now listen carefully. Rule 1 is this: power is granted to those who already act as if they have it. You cannot wait to be chosen. You must choose yourself. The world senses hierarchy before it hears words, before it sees proof. People feel who believes they belong at the top, and they react accordingly. If you hesitate, if you question your place, if you shrink your presence, you announce to others that you are beneath them. You have seen this happen even among your friends. One person speaks and the room quiets. Another speaks and no one hears them. The difference is not volume, it is conviction. The powerful do not ask for space. They occupy it without apology. They walk into a room and do not perform for approval. They simply assume they are the axis the room must move around. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon, he did so not because Rome had called for him to become its ruler, but because he had already crowned himself in his mind. When Alexander stood before Persia, he did not ask whether he was worthy of conquest. He behaved as if the world had already been given to him, and the world complied. Understand something vital. The body speaks before the tongue. Your posture, your breathing, your slowness of movement, your unhurried presence communicates power or weakness long before you speak your first word. If you are restless, anxious, reactive, you reveal that you are following the world. If you are measured, still, and deliberate, you show that the world must follow you. Power begins not with achievement, but with identity. If you behave like a subordinate, you will always be treated as one. If you behave like an equal, you will often be accepted as one. If you behave like a ruler, others will eventually reshape themselves around your presence. This is why ambition without embodiment fails. Many people dream of influence, but they carry themselves like someone waiting to be chosen, validated, rescued, and so they remain invisible. Power is taken, never given. When you walk, walk slowly. When you speak, speak with certainty. When you enter a room, do not scan faces for approval. Let others scan for yours. Move with the calm arrogance of someone who has already won the war. Even if the world has not yet caught up, the kingdom forms around the one who acts like a king before the crown exists. Now we turn to something even more subtle. You have understood that power begins within, that the world mirrors the posture you bring to it. But this alone is not enough. There is a second force at work in human nature that allows the unqualified to command armies while the intelligent remain ignored. And this force decides who is followed and who is forgotten. Before I reveal it, take a breath. What I am about to say is not polite, not idealistic, and not what society teaches you. That is why it works. Rule 2. People obey confidence, not correctness. Human beings do not flock to what is true. They flock to what feels certain. Most people do not have the strength to hold their own opinions, so they adopt the tone of whoever speaks most firmly. This is why the world's greatest manipulators understand that it is not necessary to be right. It is only necessary to be convincing. The powerful do not rush to prove themselves. They state what they believe with such clarity that disagreement feels like an act of rebellion against reality itself. When someone says something with unwavering confidence, the mind of the listener begins to surrender. Their doubts soften, their resistance weakens. They begin to assume that the confident must know something they do not. This is how leaders are created, not through knowledge, but through self-certainty. Confidence is a gravitational field. It pulls others into orbit. Correctness is fragile. It requires defense. Confidence stands alone, and so people follow it because they crave the feeling of certainty they cannot generate themselves. Many intelligent people remain powerless because they insist on being right rather than commanding presence. They correct, they argue, they explain. Meanwhile, the powerful remain silent, steady, unbothered, and win loyalty effortlessly. It is not the content of your words that matters, but the weight with which they land. The crowd does not ask whether the leader is right. The crowd asks whether the leader appears unshaken. And so the powerful cultivate an inner stillness that cannot be disrupted. They speak slowly. They choose their words intentionally. They do not react to provocation. Their calmness communicates superiority, and superiority commands obedience. The world rewards those who do not reveal themselves too quickly. Look around you and observe how most people live loudly, constantly explaining, defending, clarifying, performing their identity for others. They speak before thinking, react before understanding, reveal their emotions before mastering them. And because of this, they hand away their advantage. A person who is always talking is easy to read. A person who is always explaining is predictable. A person who tries to prove themselves is already beneath the one who remains still. Power belongs to the one who can hold silence without fear. Before I tell you the next rule, consider something. Think of the moments where someone said nothing, and it unsettled you more than any argument could have. Think of the times you wondered what someone was thinking, and the lack of answer forced your mind to race. That is not absence. That is dominance. Now listen. Rule 3. Silence is a weapon that forces others to reveal themselves. When you do not rush to speak, others step forward to fill the void. They expose their fears, their insecurities, their motives, their weaknesses. The powerful understand that information is the currency of control, and silence gathers information faster than speech ever can. If you speak too soon, you commit yourself. You show your desires, you show your vulnerabilities, you show your strategy. But if you remain quiet, the other person will reveal theirs. Most people cannot endure the tension of silence. They try to break it. They stammer. They justify. They confess. They speak in circles until they betray their intentions. Your stillness becomes a mirror they cannot escape. Their words become a map of their mind, and you now know exactly where to strike. This silence is not coldness. It is calculation. You are not ignoring others, you are watching them. Listening not only to their words, but to the tone beneath them, the pauses, the hesitations, the way they look away when certain topics arise, the way they say too much when they are nervous. Silence allows you to see the truth that noise tries to cover. The powerful do not try to be understood. They observe, they gather, they wait. When you speak, speak with intention, but speak last. The one who speaks last owns the meaning of the conversation. Remain calm, remain unreadable. Let others show their hands while yours remains concealed. There is no greater psychological advantage. But silence alone is not enough. There is a deeper layer to power, one that separates those who influence quietly from those who win entire kingdoms. The world is full of those who act boldly, but far fewer who act strategically. To move unseen, to shape outcomes, long before others realize they are being shaped, you must understand the next rule. Before I reveal it, breathe. What follows is not for those who want to be liked. It is for those who want to win. Rule 4. Your intentions must remain hidden until the outcome is secured. If others know what you want, they can block you. If others understand your plan, they can interfere. If others see your ambition, they can fear you. A hidden motive is untouchable. A revealed motive can be attacked. This is why the wise ruler smiles while planning war. This is why the cunning ally praises the king while arranging his successor. The one who shows their desire loses leverage, because desire can be manipulated. But the one whose aim is concealed shapes the board without the board knowing it is being shaped. You must learn to move as if guided by neutrality, disinterest, even reluctance. Let others believe your steps are natural, harmless, accidental. Meanwhile, every move has purpose. Every word is placed. Every silence is positioned. The greatest victories are those won before anyone realizes a battle was being fought. Do not declare your goals. Do not announce your dreams. Do not tell others what you are building. Protect the direction of your life as if it were a kingdom under siege. The moment others can predict you, they can control you. Mystery is not decoration, it is defense. When no one knows your intentions, they must fear every possibility. Their caution becomes your advantage. And understand this, hidden intentions do not require deception. They require restraint. You do not need to lie. You simply do not reveal. Let people believe what they want to believe. Let them fill the silence with their own assumptions. Let them underestimate you. Let them think you lack ambition. Let them think you are harmless. The hunter that appears unarmed can walk closest to the prey. When the time comes, reveal only the result, never the effort. The world should see the finished victory, not the steps that created it. But power becomes far more dangerous when we begin to shape not only our image, but the image others have of our desires. Most people move through life believing that others see them clearly. They think their intentions are obvious, their desires noble, their motivations pure. They assume what they want is their own business and their own expression. But in power, nothing about what you want is ever neutral. Desire is leverage, ambition is threat, preference is vulnerability. The moment another person knows what drives you, they can push, they can manipulate, they can tempt, they can obstruct. And so most people are not defeated by force. They are defeated because someone understood what they wanted. Power demands that you understand a fundamental truth about human perception. People are not trying to understand who you truly are. They are trying to understand how to position themselves in relation to you. And so they do not watch your heart, they watch your wants. Before I reveal the next rule, I want you to recall a moment. Someone once learned what you cared about, and the moment they knew, the balance shifted. Perhaps subtly, perhaps immediately, but it shifted. That is why this next rule matters. Rule 5. Control what others think you want. You do not need to hide your desires completely. You need to control the narrative around them. If others believe you want something that does not threaten them, they will not interfere. If they believe your goals align with theirs, they will support you. If they believe your ambitions are small, they will ignore you. But if they sense your true aims are large, strategic, or transformative, they will not rest until they contain you. The powerful allow others to misinterpret their direction. They let others assume. They let others conclude. They let others feel comfortable. Power is not taken by those who announce their pursuit. It is taken by those who make others think their rise benefits them. Do not correct false impressions that keep you safe. Let them believe you are content, moderate, agreeable, unambitious. Let them believe you are simply doing what anyone would do. Meanwhile, you move. This rule is not about deception. It is about psychological positioning. You must understand that the mind of the average person fears competition, loss of influence, and the unknown. If they think you want something harmless, they relax. If they think you want something predictable, they stop paying attention. If they think you are already satisfied, they stop guarding themselves. And in that unguarded moment, space opens, power grows, influence expands. If others believe they understand you, they stop studying you. That is the trap. The powerful are always partially unreadable, partially unpredictable, not because they are chaotic, but because they are intentional in what they allow others to believe. Your desires must be curated, not displayed. If they think you desire attention, they will give you attention while watching you. If they think you desire respect, they will offer false praise while resenting you. But if they think you desire nothing, they will reveal everything. Control the perception of your wants, and you control the behavior of those around you. But there is a darker dimension to power, one that separates the ruler from the merely influential. The next rule is one that many resist, because they have been taught kindness is always virtue, generosity is always noble, and giving is always admirable. But power is not morality, power is structure, and in the structure of power, every action must serve advantage. Before I speak the next rule, pause, breathe. Let your idealism loosen its grip. Rule 6. Use generosity as a trap, never a gift. When you give with sincerity alone, you gain nothing but momentary gratitude, and gratitude fades quickly. Most people forget who helped them. Many even resent the ones who lifted them, because the memory of being helped reminds them of their weakness. But when generosity is used strategically, it binds. The powerful give in ways that create dependence, obligation, and psychological debt. They give when it costs them little and benefits them greatly. They give in ways that ensure the receiver cannot easily walk away. A favor extended with precision is a chain disguised as kindness, and the person who wears that chain will defend you, not because they love you, but because they feel compelled to justify the help they accepted. Think carefully about this. The world remembers the one who gives too freely as weak, but the world remembers the one who gives selectively as someone whose approval matters. When you provide support, resources, knowledge, or opportunity, do not do so to display goodness. Do so to gain positioning. Give to the ambitious, not the grateful. Give to those whose rise you can shape. Give in a way that places them one step above where they were, but one step below where you stand. The hierarchy must remain intact. When someone receives something from you, they instinctively rationalize that you must have had the right to give it, and thus your status increases in their mind. But if you give without structure, the receiver grows accustomed, entitled, dismissive. They forget. The strategic ruler gives slowly, precisely, and always with invisible strings. It is not necessary to speak of obligation. Humans create their own. They replay your favor in their minds. They feel the weight of the unreturned gift. They begin to defend you when you are not present. They align their actions to maintain harmony with you. And eventually, they become intertwined with your ascent. Generosity is not the act of gifting, it is the act of constructing loyalty. But understand, the deeper we move into power, the more subtle the game becomes. The next rules are not about influence alone. They are about shaping the world before it has the chance to shape you. There comes a point in the ascent of power where presence itself becomes unnecessary, where your influence continues even in your absence, where decisions are shaped, alliances are formed, and doors open because your name is spoken in the minds of others. This is the threshold where those who merely seek power are separated from those who truly hold it. Think of it, the most powerful figures in history were not feared only when standing in the room. Their power lingered after they left. Their image became myth, their name became signal. To reach this level, you must understand that power is not maintained through constant effort, force, or visibility. It is maintained through the echo you leave behind. Before I reveal the next rule, consider a simple truth. You cannot be everywhere at once, but your reputation can. Your presence is limited, your name is not. Now listen carefully. Rule 7. Your reputation fights battles while you sleep. What others believe about you influences their behavior more than anything you say or do directly. If your reputation commands respect, people will hesitate before opposing you. If your reputation inspires admiration, people will follow you without needing encouragement. If your reputation suggests unpredictability, others will avoid provoking you. Power amplifies through perception. It is not enough to be strong, you must be seen as strong. Not enough to be intelligent, you must be known as someone not to be underestimated. The world operates on signals, shortcuts, and impressions. People rarely investigate the truth. They operate based on what they believe the truth to be, and belief shapes their actions. This is why the powerful are deliberate in how they are seen. They do not react to every slight. They do not panic when misunderstood. They allow myths to grow where explanation would shrink them. They cultivate stories, not as lies, but as strategic shadows. When you prove yourself only in person, your power dies the moment you leave the room. But when your reputation grows beyond you, opportunities come unbidden. Disputes resolve themselves. Enemies hesitate. The world rearranges around the weight of your name. And here is the cruel but necessary reality. Reputation is most easily built through decisive, unmistakable action. One unforgettable demonstration establishes more power than 1,000 arguments. The world does not remember consistency, it remembers impact. A single moment of visible strength can define how you are treated for years. Once your reputation begins to act on your behalf, your time, energy, and presence are freed. You move less, yet achieve more. You choose your battles instead of scrambling to prove yourself. You become the reference point in any situation. People ask, "What would you think?" before you have spoken. They prepare themselves according to your imagined response. That is true leverage. But reputation is not static. It must be protected, sharpened, reinforced. Not constantly, but precisely at the right moments. Silence preserves mystery. Action refreshes memory. Together, they maintain power. But influence gained from reputation alone is incomplete. Reputation shapes how others behave in your presence or absence, but power becomes far deeper when you can shape their choices, even while appearing uninvolved. To reach that level, you must master the art of invisible persuasion. Before I reveal the next rule, let your mind become still. What comes now is subtle. Rule 8. Influence without arguing. Shape decisions indirectly. Most people attempt to persuade by explanation, debate, evidence, pressure, or emotional appeal. These methods are loud, obvious, and fragile. When you argue, you admit that agreement matters to you. When you persuade openly, you reveal that the other person has power to resist you. And when you push too hard, people push back simply to prove they are not controlled. This is why the most powerful never argue. They guide, they position, they create circumstances where others come to the conclusion you wanted, while believing they arrived there on their own. To influence indirectly, you must understand desire more than logic. People do not make decisions based on what is rational. They make decisions based on what aligns with their identity, their pride, their comfort, and their fears. If you feed their identity, they walk where you lead. If you threaten it, they run from you. So the powerful speak to the self-image of the person in front of them. They do not say, "Do this." They say, "You are the kind of person who does this." And people act accordingly, because they want to remain consistent with how they see themselves. Influence grows when you build the frame in which choices are made. Another method, reduce options. Present only choices that benefit you. If someone's sense of autonomy is preserved, they will choose freely, unaware the freedom was curated. The powerful do not push, they arrange. They shift conversations so that the desired path feels natural. They drop ideas gently, then allow silence to do the work. No force, no demand. People follow because it feels like their own thought. This is influence at its highest form. The leader who argues wins followers who will abandon him in doubt. The leader who shapes conclusions creates loyalty that feels internal. People defend what they believe is theirs, so give them the illusion that your direction was their insight all along. When you master this, you will find that arguments, explanations, and confrontations become unnecessary. Your will moves through indirect channels. Your voice echoes through the voices of others. You are absent, yet present, invisible, yet obeyed. But power deepens further still. For there comes a moment where influence is no longer enough, where threats appear, where challenges rise, where those who fear your ascent attempt to cut you down before you grow untouchable. And in that moment, hesitation is fatal. Power reaches its sharpest point when resistance appears. Up until now, influence, silence, perception, and reputation have allowed you to move without friction, to expand without alerting opposition. But as your stature grows, you will be noticed. The ambitious will sense your ascent. The insecure will resent it. The threatened will plot. No matter how subtle, strategic, or controlled you are, there will come a moment when someone decides they must stop you, and in that moment you will face a choice. Act with decisive finality or allow your rising power to fracture. Before I reveal the next rule, understand this clearly. Those who hesitate, who seek compromise, who hope to maintain peace with those who fear their strength, are swallowed. The world does not allow two suns in the same sky. You must be willing to end opposition completely, or you are not prepared to rule. Rule 9. If you strike, strike so they cannot strike back. Half measures invite retaliation. Wounded enemies recover. Humiliated rivals rebuild their pride. Those you merely inconvenience will wait for the chance to destroy you. The powerful do not teach lessons. They end conflicts. When it becomes necessary to confront, to defend, to overthrow, you must be absolute. This does not mean you act in anger. Anger clouds judgment. It means your action is cold, precise, undeniable. Once taken, it leaves no path for reversal. In strategy, this might mean removing someone from a position quietly, with no trace of your involvement. In reputation, it might mean one decisive public demonstration that leaves no room for challenge. In relationships, it might mean cutting entirely and permanently, leaving no emotional thread to tug on. The key is finality. When you act, act in a way that closes the story. The enemy must have no air left to breathe in the conflict. If they can speak, they can rally. If they can move, they can plan. If they can hope, they can return. History is full of rulers who tried to be merciful, believing restraint would earn them loyalty. Instead, they were torn down by the very people they spared. Mercy is not inherently weakness, but when offered to those who seek your place, it becomes an invitation for betrayal. Remember this, people rarely forgive being overshadowed, and those who feel outmatched look for the moment when the stronger hesitates. Power requires the courage to be complete. If the time comes when you must defend your ascent, you do not apologize for the necessity. You ensure the matter never reopens. But understand this, striking is not the goal. It is the safeguard. The most powerful do not live in constant conflict. They act once, with such clarity, that conflict never returns. And once your enemies realize you do not leave open doors behind you, they become cautious. They stop testing you. Your authority stabilizes. Your influence becomes structure. Yet even here, power is not fully secured. There remains one final law, the most paradoxical of all, the rule that ensures you cannot be predicted, controlled, or dismantled once you have risen. It is the final veil that separates the powerful from the remembered. Rule 10. Disappear before they can predict you. The moment others believe they fully understand you, they begin planning around you. Predictability is vulnerability. Even a strong force can be defeated if its pattern is known. The powerful never allow the world to map them. They move in cycles others cannot anticipate. They withdraw when expected to advance. They advance when assumed to be resting. They shift their environment, their alliances, their behaviors, their presence. They do not stay in one emotional register. They do not reveal routines. They do not make themselves easy to summon, assess, or decode. Their distance creates anxiety. Their unpredictability creates caution. Their absence creates legend. To disappear is not to abandon the field. It is to create space for imagination. When you are no longer constantly visible, others begin to speak about you. Your reputation grows without your effort. Your silence becomes myth-making. People will wonder where you are, what you are planning, what you are thinking. They will project greatness, danger, wisdom, or mystery onto the void you leave. And projection is more powerful than presence. For presence must prove itself, but myth needs no proof. Absence allows your influence to crystallize into something larger than yourself. It becomes narrative. It becomes symbol, and symbols cannot be killed. To disappear is to secure your image. It prevents overexposure, which erodes mystique. It prevents familiarity, which breeds underestimation. The powerful understand the rhythm of exposure, appear with force, then fade into silence. Act decisively, then vanish. Let your name fill the space you leave. Let your legend travel farther than your body ever could. But this is where power becomes something beyond strategy. The rules you have learned now form a structure. Identity, confidence, silence, secrecy, perception, strategic generosity, reputation, indirect influence, finality, disappearance. And yet, there is one more step, the point beyond dominance, beyond control, beyond fear. The territory where the world bends itself around you, not because you demand it, but because it no longer imagines a reality without your presence shaping it. The realm where power is not acted, but embodied. If you choose to continue, the next path does not teach you how to rule others. It teaches you how to become the one they cannot imagine standing against. If you've made it this far, it's because a part of you already knows this truth. Power is never granted. It is taken, shaped, built in silence. The world does not reward goodness, it rewards control, perception, and ruthlessness applied with precision. Now tell me in the comments, are you ready to stop playing by the rules designed to keep you weak? Are you willing to see power for what it truly is? Not glory, but responsibility and restraint. If this message touched you, if it made sense, write in the comments, I understand power. Let's see how many here are truly ready to step into the arena with their eyes open. And don't forget, keep watching the next video. It's important, much more than you imagine. See you there.